All right, people, we're going to try this again, this time with sound. That's right. I'm a boomer and I recorded this video and it had absolutely no sound. And it needs sound because this needs to be heard and there needs to be answers to this. And I'm sort of confused to what has happened here. And I'm hoping that if anyone is watching that has more insight to the story, that you can provide us with more details in the comment section below. Hello, and what's going on? I am LP. I am the writer and creator of comic book series known as Nyobi and Savage Sin. Nyobi can be found at your local comic book shop, published through Antarctic Press. Pick yours up today! And so, what's going on in the news here tonight? I wake up and I find out that Bob Layton, comic book veteran, legend, creator of like War Machine, Huntress at DC Comics, and many others, has been banned from Facebook and Instagram with no real reason as to why. Um, but let's find out. Let's see what Rich Johnson, credit to Rich Johnson, Bleeding Cool, for bringing us this article. Let's see what is going on. Let's see if we can't decipher this mystery and get some insight. So, Bob Layton is a veteran comic book creator. As I said, best known for his work on Iron Man's Jim Rhodes' War Machine over at Marvel, Huntress at DC Comics, and he's done Exo War, Man of War, I should say, Ninjak, Bloodshot, and Archer and Armstrong. But he's come smack bang up against the opaque structures that are social media. More in particular, we're looking at Meta, owners of Facebook and Instagram. And Bob Layton writes, and I quote, "On November 22nd, I was doing my usual daily postings, and I was, without warning, suspended from Facebook on Instagram, with Meta claiming a lack of account integrity." Now, what does that mean? What was this post, first of all, and what do they mean by lack of account integrity? Like, what the hell are you trying to say here? That's a lot of hibbity jibbity. That's some fucking word salad there, if I got to say so myself. He goes on. Every time I've attempted to contact them, I reach a dead end. I sent them all the documentation they requested, including my passport and my current driver's license. Holy shit. That sounds like a breach of privacy to me. That sounds like an overreach and overstep. I mean, the day that a social media site says, "Hey, if you want to use our services, you got to send us your social security number, your driver's license, your passport. You got to, sell us your firstborn and give us your soul," which they pretty much already do. I would be out, right? That's just going too far, especially over something that I'm sure was nonsensical, maybe an art post, a comic book post, and for whatever reason, the Facebook algorithm decides, you know what, today we're gonna pick on a comic book legend. you know? Um After 24 hours, I received a notice in the attached picture. My accounts have been permanently suspended. No appeal possible. No customer services numbers available. And they never will be. Look, I said this in the previous recording that didn't have the sound, that if Facebook were to have a call center where you could dial a 1-800 number and talk to a live human being, you would be in queue for the next year waiting to speak with someone because there'd be that many people calling. They would not be able to handle the call volume because they have just too many users. And everyone who's ever had a small gripe with Facebook, had a post removed, got blocked, got suspended, calling up with dumb questions. Not to say that this situation is dumb, it's certainly not. But I mean, you know how it would be. People would call about everything and anything. That's why they don't do it. That's why they will never have a number, okay? They wouldn't be able to handle it. I've worked at call centers for 20 years. I was what's called an RTA, stands for real-time analyst, and my job was to monitor the queue volumes, make sure we had enough agents to handle the call volume. I had to handle people's breaks. I was the guy that either approved or disapproved people's time off or people wanting to do overtime. That was all my responsibility. So I know how these things work, okay? He says, I was blacklisted without any further information concerning their decision. Every attempt to download their information concerning my suspension was fruitless, as it would send me to a page that said I was ineligible to download. Yeah, because they've already cut you off. They cut the cord, unfortunately. I am broken and defeated by this arbitrary and disastrous decision by Meta. I have been using Facebook and Instagram for nearly 20 years, John, and have amassed close to 4,000 followers combined. As you know, I've always adhered to the strictest legal and moral standards when posting comic art entertainment to my followers on both platforms. Meta's decision to permanently disable those accounts has greatly impacted my ability to make a living, not to mention the humiliation and loss of public confidence in me. 20 years of photos and memories are lost to me forever. And this is the problem. This is the problem, that when you put all your eggs in one basket, if you drop that basket, chances are you're going to crack all your eggs. Chances are you are going to lose everything, right? You know, I said this in the previous video that I mucked up, is that if you do have things that you just don't want to instantly disappear that you have uploaded on third-party sites, now is the time to go ahead and start saving that stuff. If you got 20 years of pictures that you don't want to lose because Facebook is having a bad day, maybe it's time you go download that stuff right now, man. You know what I'm saying? He says, this has been one of the worst things I've ever experienced in my career. To my fans, I sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. Yeah, man. If it's hard to believe that Facebook has been around for nearly 20 years. I started using Facebook in 2007 when it was still a thing that you needed to have a college email for just to even get in. And it's not the account that I normally use. It's my personal account. And I've had that now for 18 years, John. Years. It's hard to believe that we've had social media for nearly 2 decades. You know, and I know there's a couple of things before Facebook, like MySpace and stuff. So you don't need to flood the comments with everything that came before it. I understand and I know. But for me personally, it's been 18 years of using Facebook, and I do feel like it's part of my life. Part of my daily routine is I get up in the morning and I check my Facebook. This is how I conduct all my business. Without Facebook, let's be honest, there would be no Nyobi, because that is how I contact the artists I work with, the talent that I work with. That's how I promote the book. That is how I get the word out. And so that would be a major loss. I get what Mr. Layton's saying here. I completely empathize with this. Since he has started a temporary Instagram, since then, he has started a temporary Instagram page at official_Bob_Layton. And I do recommend following this man and giving him some support on this. And says, I still have lawyers working on getting my sites back, and I hope they are successful, sir. But who knows if that will pan out. If bleeding cool readers work for Meta, maybe they might like to reach out and get in touch, reach out and touch someone, or maybe press the magic button to fix all of Mr. Layton's problems from afar. Hey, listen, if I could just hit that red button and get this man's accounts back, I 100% would. But since we don't have that button, at least I don't, I'm not Mark Zuckerberg. All we can do is get the word out, put the social media pressure on Meta. Okay. If you're going to talk about this, maybe tag Facebook in it, tag Instagram, tag the Zuck, and let them know that you are doing a disservice to a comic book industry veteran and legend, and this needs to stop. But what doesn't need to stop is for you to check out a word from our sponsors. And just who is the sponsor of today's video? Well, it's me, Austin. It's been me all along. And guys, I just want to quickly point out that I too am a comic book creator. I just don't speak it. I produce it, right? It's like put your money where your mouth is. We do that each and every time we have a release. I've been doing this now for a decade. We're published. We're in comic book shops, and we're on eBay. So if you ever want to check out Nyobi and you haven't yet, one of the best ways to do that is to come by our eBay store. Take a little scroll through here. If you type in Nyobicomics, you'll find it. Of course, link will be in the description of the video. I have all kinds of great back issues and hard to find variants here from artists that you know and love, like Jamie Tyndall, Elsie Frita, Steph Wilson, Paul Green, John Stinsman of Evangeline fame, Keith Garvey, and so many more, guys. if you're missing out on some Nyobi back issues, if you're looking for that hard to find variant, chances are you're going to find the best deal right here on eBay. And chances are you're going to find that deal directly through me. And as always, if you do order a book from me, I'll throw in a little extra goodies in there, little tchotchke package of stickers and bookmarks and cards. Oh my. You'll have all that. Plus, you can have your book signed or unsigned. That is up to you. And keep an eye on this page because I do update it fairly frequently with new items all the time. As something sells, I will put it back up. So, guys, today's sponsor, Nyobicomics, the eBay store. Come check it out.